Hey, everybody. Welcome to Tea with Belinda. This really nice Thursday morning. The sun is shining here in Connecticut, and I'm so happy to be with you and hear all your questions. So I have to admit, I'm not having tea today. I have my Roanoke mug, and I'm having a little Diet Coke. It's chilly here, but for some reason, I just really wanted a Diet Coke today. We had an accident in our car a while ago, and we got the car fixed this morning, or we picked it up from getting repaired. And I thought, oh, I'm out of the house and I'm in the car all by myself. I'm going to go to the gas station in town and get myself a Diet Coke. So I did, and I'm enjoying it right now. So it looks like some people are coming on, which is awesome. Good morning, Michelle. Michelle and I were just chatting on Facebook Messenger. Hello, Sandy. Hello, hello, hello. So glad to see you guys here. Makes it really awesome. So today it's really all about you and your questions. Tell me where you're coming in from, what you're up to today. And we're gonna try to make this work. I have my pet bird on my knee. So he's been a good boy all day, and I'm hoping that that continues. But just spoiler alert, we might have to have a bird intervention here. So, all right, you guys. So right now we're streaming on all over Facebook, on the business page and the VIP club, and also the Facebook group, and on Periscope and YouTube. So wherever you're watching from, please put your thoughts in the comments. No questions or out of bounds. I'd love to find out what's on your mind and how potentially I can help you on your journey being a virtual assistant. So let's jump in. So here's my little delicious daughter. She is 9 years old there. So I'm looking at Michelle's question already. It's so funny. We're going to get to it in just a minute, but I just answered that question for someone else, which is perfect. So I'm here for you. So here's Emily. She's 9 years old. She is currently, unfortunately, stuck in Virginia. We're supposed to pick her up from school on Saturday, but we can't go down until we know we can get gas to come back. And it's so crazy. We realized what was happening. I have a rental car all picked out, and we're going to go get her. And I texted her yesterday and I said, in other news, I'm not sure about coming to get you because we have to make sure we get back. And she said, when is enough? It's like, I agree. But she's getting an A in poli-sci. So right now she's floating around the planet because she thought that wasn't going to happen. So it all balances out, but sometimes it's just a lot, right? So anyway, here she is in all of her deliciousness, 9 years old. She was always very snuggly. She'd always let me kiss her right here, which is my favorite spot. And she looks okay, but her mom is a little bit in trouble there. I was getting divorced. I was unemployed. I didn't know what I was going to do. I knew I had to move because I hadn't been able to pay the mortgage for over a year. I had debt all over the place, and I'd become sort of this special needs project, with my friends. They're all trying to help me, loaning me money, babysitting, just trying to help me figure this all out because I'd gotten myself into kind of a big mess. And the interesting thing is the big mess was not because I was, buying coats at Burberry's or flying to France. It was just life got overwhelming. We needed tires on the car and, just stuff like that, people getting sick and needing to fly somewhere or to help or, whatever it was. So it was just, and it happens, like $200 at a time. I'm sure some of you have been in that situation and and then you just look up one day and say, oh my gosh, look at this big, gigantic mess. And so anyway, so that's where I was. I didn't want to go back into IT. I had been in IT that was my last job because I wanted to be home for Emily. It took me a long time to have her, and I didn't want her to be shuffled around. I wanted to be there. And but I didn't know what to do. So just in the interim to buy groceries, I started temping because I used to be a secretary in the dark ages when we were called that. And And I always liked that work. And I liked the part where you figured stuff out. And that's why I liked IT also. I wasn't like a computer nerd. I was the person who talked to the IT people and talked to the people in the business, so I was sort of the liaison between the two, to make sure that everything was working well between them. And so anyway, I didn't want to go back to that because the hours were crazy. And so the temping gave me some confidence. But I realized that I couldn't make enough money temping, because the agency takes a cut, guys know how that works. So I started telling everybody I knew, I wanted to help with admin stuff. And one day, one of the dads at the bus stop told me he had just started a new business. He needed help with, really sort of common sense stuff like paying his bills and, hello, Kate, just joining us, paying the bills, and it's funny because yesterday, one of my friends called and she said, I need some help. She's a therapist and she helps people get divorced. And what she does is she tries to keep the families, she's like a mediator, a therapist. She's trying to keep the families together and, navigate all through that really messy stuff. And she said some of her clients need help. They're overwhelmed. And she has one client who's a very successful doctor and she needs somebody to move the electric bill from one name to the other, or divide the bills, or pay the bills, or call Verizon and have phone service set up at the new house. These really commonsensical stuff. And she said, "Are there people that do that?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know a lot of them." And for her, it's tedious. For me, it's being helpful in getting stuff done. So the point here is that there's a lot of, I think there's a lot of work out there for those kind of skills. And you don't really need to have all of this ClickFunnels website building stuff. It's okay if you do, but there's a lot of people who just kind of, they need help with that everyday stuff, which is really awesome for us. So anyway, that morphed into me going to a wedding, meeting someone that I had been following, but I had never met in person, and telling him what I was up to. He got in touch with me a couple days later and said, I connected with him on LinkedIn. So I took the next step to stay connected to him. And he said, "Can you help me run an event?" Like, yeah, I planned a wedding, a birthday party. I can plan an event. And so I did. I helped him plan an event at Constant Contact. I figured out how to take the money and get registrations. I went to the event. I sold his book in the back of the room. I passed out the handouts. I probably made the handouts, from something he gave me. And then we decided to do webinars together. And he said, "Can you figure that out?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll figure it out, And we did that together. We're still doing them together. It's been 10 years. I've been a VA, and we're doing one in 2 weeks. So the point is, you can really start from anywhere. And I was talking to someone yesterday, one of the ambassadors of the VA connection, and we were talking about confidence, because that's kind of the main thing it takes: confidence and the ability to kind of hold your breath while you're figuring something out until you do, and then you just start to know more and more and more, and eventually, you get enough that you start to have that confidence. So anyway, so here I am. I'm going to have to change this slide to yet 11 years pretty soon. Over the summer, it'll be 11 years. And I've worked with over 200 clients. I think I'm going to have to change this slide too. I think it's more like 230 or something. And I've been able to make $1 million sitting in this chair I'm sitting in right now from an idea of helping people from home. It's given me the ability to get my life back in order, to be able to be there for Emily. We have a really close relationship as a result of me being there, because she knows I'm the one that she can count on. And here we are last summer. This is Greg. We're getting married this year. Emily's turning 20 in about a month from today, actually, which I cannot believe. And it's good. I was just, like I said, chatting with Michelle, and, life happens and stuff is going on, but it's at the same time, good things are happening. And, it's nice because yesterday I was talking to Greg and he was talking about the stock market and how everything's going crazy. And my first reaction is I kind of clench, like, uh-oh, and then I think, no, it's no uh-oh. I got a new client last week. I have a new discovery call with someone today and also next week. And the economy doesn't have to necessarily impact us. It's not that we shouldn't pay attention, but there's always people who need us and who are not impacted by the stock market or who are impacted in a good way, So it feels really safe to me, much safer than having a job, to tell you the truth. All right, so let's just look and see what's going on here in the comments. So Michelle asked the question. So put your comments in. So thank you, Michelle, saying that Emily is the cutest. Yeah, she is such a snuggler. Yeah, she had this like little, she doesn't have it anymore, but when she was little, it was like duck fur, this like little, Sadie probably has it, and your son, Mason, I think his name is, right? That little soft hair, and it just smells so good. I just used to always kiss her there. And Kate, Michelle and Kate, what does FTWs mean? Yeah, for the win, maybe? I don't know. And hi, Christine. Good morning to you. And I saw your peach fuzz. Yeah, that's what I called it. Peach fuzz. I forgot. Yes, absolutely. And I saw your magnetic eyelashes, which looked fabulous, by the way, on Facebook. Okay, so let's jump into some questions. What's the Google Workspace membership called? I need to downgrade to after sign up for $6 for the win. Okay, yes, for the win. Okay, so here's how this works. If you have Gmail, paid Gmail, which is called something new every week, I think right now it's called Google Workspace. What happens is when you sign, if that's what you're talking about, let me know. When you sign up for it and you get Gmail as part of it, what happens is they automatically give you a free account for, I think, $8 a month. I'm not positive, but it's more than $6. So what you do is you go here. Let me just look here in my account. You click on the cogwheel. You say, in your Gmail, you click, and then you say, yes, it used to be called G Suite. They just keep changing it. I don't know why. Then you click manage this organization, and then you have to verify that it's you. I'm just doing this on my other screen, and hopefully, let me just put you have to put your password in. And then what happens is you go to billing, manage subscriptions. Oh, wow, it's $18 now to sign up. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. That's not, oh, you know what? I can't do it in my Rocket Girl account because I have this, I bought it through a reseller because that's what you did 11 years ago or whenever I did it. So, but the VA connection, I signed myself up. So let me go into that. And, okay. So manage subscriptions and then add or upgrade the subscription. Let's see, I click that. And then you can just choose, you choose Google Workspace Business Starter, I think. Here, I'll just show you guys. I'll just show you my screen. Let's see, where is that? So I can grab it. Boom. Okay, here you go. So I went into, manage this organization, billing settings, and then here you can see all of the different options, and you just choose the one that you want. But that's crazy that they made it $18. A lot of what that is, people don't notice and they don't know, and I think they're betting on, that you're not noticing, and that $18 isn't that much for some people to do whatever, And, I signed up for something. I have to put it on my calendar because the trial's over on the 23rd. And really, if I don't put it on the calendar, they'll probably bill me at least 2 more times before I realize what's going on. And I remember. So that's kind of a model, I think. Hello, Joe. Joe and I were texting this morning. She's one of our fabulous ambassadors. So we have an ambassador program in the Facebook group now where we have 2 amazing women who are in the VIP club. And every day they split the day and they're in there helping all the members find the solutions they need, point them to blog posts, point them to videos that will help answer their questions. And Joe was asking me a question this morning and I felt bad. I was being very to the point, like, yes, and I wasn't going into a lot of detail because I was holding a cup of tea, texting with one hand because Greg and I were going to pick up our car that just got fixed. So thank you to Joe. All right, let's see. So I can't figure out which is the $6 one. All right, hold on. I think it's basic. So what will happen is I think you click downgrade and then you'll get your options. But I'm 99% sure it's basic. Let's see. I think they made some changes to storage space, so they upped the prices. Okay, that makes sense. All right, what's Christine saying? I'm really mad that I would have to spend $5 to forward my old Yahoo email. All right, so tell me about that. So interesting. Well, okay, so here's the thing about email, you guys. We all think that it's like our social security number or something, like it's really important and no one will find us again, but they really will. I paid for this MindSpring account for a really long time. And what I ended up doing was I ended up forwarding it to my Gmail, and I was paying for it, whatever it was. And then I just, a little at a time, I would get mad about it. When I get mad, what I tend to do is I get a lot of energy. And, you know, like when I get mad that the house is dirty, I can clean it in record amount of time. Because like Greg just like stands up against the wall, like he's got to get out of the way because I'm like pulling this and doing this and wiping that. And so the same thing happens with something like this. So what I did was I forwarded it. I went through anything that I needed to change. I did. And I let it sit there for another month. And then I, oh, here we go. So here's that's giving me more information. And then what happened was after a while, I looked at it and I thought, I don't need any of this. And then I just let it expire. Yahoo is free, but it doesn't play nice with my iPhone. I've had this account forever, so I was just going to forward that, but that's a paid feature. Yeah, I know. Yeah. So see if you can, you know, get unentangled from it. And maybe that's just, you know, the deal, the $5. Sorry if the bird is bothering you guys. He's very, oh, okay, now he's on his perch. It's one of those things that I thought I couldn't live without, and then I did. So, you know, see what happens. All right, so let's look and see. I have my G Suite or whatever they call it now through HostGator and pay $638 a month. Okay, that's good. So that's in the ballpark. And Joe says, I'm the same with subscriptions. If I miss the end date, yeah, I miss the end date if I don't send a calendar. Yeah, if I don't put it on my calendar, you know, it's like, it just doesn't happen. And Michelle says, same. Yes, it's the basic. Sandy says, it's the basic. Good. Okay, the business starter one. Okay, good. Now we know that. I'm glad you love when the birdie talks, because you are the only one right now that does. I don't mind when he talks. What I don't like is when he's in the other room and he does what I call screaming. And then I go pick him up and he either doesn't want to come out of the cage, so he acts like he's going to bite you, or he lets you pick him up, but then he just starts flying all over the place. So he's becoming a little high maintenance, and it's spring. So I think he's looking for a mate, which is not going to happen, but for a good reason. I can't remember why, but something happens when they get a mate. And I don't remember, like, something bad happens and you end up having to get a different cage and separate the dad and all this stuff, which we're not going to do. All right. Does anyone know if there's a way to move emails to a new email address? I got a new business email and I'd like to migrate all the emails I've had between clients to the new account. Okay. So Michelle, tell me what the old, is it Gmail or 365? Hold on. The bird is in my purse and that is not going to happen. Is it Gmail or 365? So I'm going to answer it if it's Gmail. There are ways to migrate from one account to the other. I paid someone to do it because when I did it, it was 10 years ago and the world was very different 10 years ago. G Suite. Yeah. So here, let me just Google it so I hired a company called Cumulus Consulting in Massachusetts, and they took all of my email from Outlook and they migrated it over to Gmail. So in my Gmail, I have mail from 2012 because I had a business and I was working on back tax stuff and I was nervous about getting rid of it because I had receipts and stuff. You know, I didn't print everything out. I just didn't print everything out. It was in there, and I thought if something happens and I need a receipt, the last thing I want to do is say, whoops, you know, I don't have it, and start a whole, because getting old receipts can be expensive sometimes, I found out. So you can hire someone to do it. I believe that there's a tool. So let's just look it up. Gmail, migration. All right, the bird is flying again. Migration. Hold on. All right, if he does it one more time, I've already warned Greg, we're gonna migrate him into the kitchen. Tool. All right, Michelle's saying, I need to access my old account until the business stuff is finalized and the clients are notified still. I just didn't want to log into it. Oh, okay. Okay, we can do that a different way. All right, so what you can do is if you're going to keep, it's because you said migration and he thought it was a command. You're so funny. Yeah. This bird has no regular instincts, I don't think. I think because he's been spoiled since the day he was born. Okay, so so what you can do is you can share it. So you know how you can share the calendar so that you could have a calendar from another Gmail account in Gmail? You can do that also with your mail. You might have to call Google. You might have to call Google, which you can do because you have a paid account. They might need to help you with it because there's some setting that doesn't always allow you to do it. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. Let's see. So you go into settings, you go into accounts. I'm going to bring it over in a minute. Okay. Let me bring it over. Yeah, you can, but I'm going to show you what the problem is sometimes. And then, and since you own both accounts, you can probably fix it. Okay, so you go here to accounts and then add another email address. And then you log in. And sometimes I've done it and it's been no problem. And sometimes I've done it and it didn't work. And I haven't done it for a really long time. But the reason that it doesn't work, if it doesn't work, is you have to go, is because the administrator of the account you're trying to pull in has to change the settings for sharing. And I remember, and you'll be able to figure it out because you're good at this stuff. So what I did was I Googled it, and I don't think I called them. I'm pretty sure I did not call them, but there was some setting like way deep. Oh, I don't. This is new. Is it the check mail from other accounts? Where's that? I wish I could hear you guys on this platform because if I could, I would do that. So if there is the check mail from other accounts, that's a new thing that I don't know about. And I would definitely check that out. Yeah, but that's how I did it in the dark ages. So Joe says she's shared folders between two emails by adding both into main Gmail and then search and drag and drop. I've seen it set up so that you can have one email address on the top and one email address on the bottom, and they're separate. I think Greg has that. Yeah, here's the deal with that. If we do it on Zoom, what happens is people have to register and get the link. And I want this to be broadly available. So right now we're streaming in 5 places, and anybody pretty much on the planet can join us. So Zoom constraints is a constraint. That's the scoop with that. But there is some way to do Zoom and stream it. And I don't know how that works, but I will find out. I was thinking about it yesterday. Going forward. Yeah, absolutely. I'll check into that. So it's under accounts. Accounts. I don't see that. Let me just search for it. All right, so she says it's called check. All right, so let's just Control F, check. Oh, check mail from other accounts. Oh, look at that. All right. Oh, okay. So I would just try it. And you know what? If you figure this out, Michelle, I want you to do a VIP it's not guest member, member expert live stream on it with me. That would be awesome. So Christine said she tried a Zoom, tried to stream with Zoom. It was a disaster. Yeah, I've heard it's hard. I'm not sure if it was because of my Wi-Fi wasn't fast enough. I'm connected with an Ethernet cable, so that wouldn't be an issue. I don't know how that works, but we're also on Periscope and YouTube, which I don't know. I've had people watch there. And then Kate says, or Clubhouse for audio with Facebook. I don't know how that would work. I love that picture. I've said that 20 times. Okay. So Michelle says it's like a giant video chat, but she doesn't know how it worked with StreamYard. Yes. Yeah. So I'll figure that out. Yesterday, that was occurring to me. We used to have other events too. The weekly webinar used to be in Zoom. But we discovered that it's more people are able to attend this way. So that's why we're doing it. Because this is really about, trying to spread the word to everyone. You're getting an Ethernet cord today. That's great. So what we did was I had a cord going down the hall and in the kitchen, and we were just like stepping on it all the time for a ridiculously long amount of time. And then one day, that was one of the COVID projects, like, let's stop doing this. It's driving me crazy. So we went to Home Depot and got an Ethernet cord that can go outside, and Greg drilled a hole in the house. And so it just goes out, and then, I don't know, he like clipped it under the shingles or something. And that's what we have now. So that works really well. Okay, so let's see. Joe says, if you did it via Instagram, you can invite people to participate via a video link when they are chatting. Just an idea, but I don't know if StreamYard and Instagram are compatible. They are not. They're not, because if they were, I would be live streaming over there. I did check into that. But, everything changes every 10 seconds. Like we had gas on Monday, now we don't. So, right? And a year ago we were, well, actually now it's been a while because I can't believe we're in May. But yeah, Emily asked me, can we go somewhere sometime? And I'm like, I have no idea. If we can, we will. She's supposed to go to Germany. Yes, LOL, all over the place. She's supposed to go to Germany in the fall, and she's acting as if she is, and she might be, or she might not be, because she was supposed to be there last year. So I've really stopped trying to figure it out. Because like I said, we're supposed to be there on Saturday, and I was texting with her, and I said, we'll either be there this weekend or next weekend, or as soon as we can, and we'll see, we'll see, we'll see what happens. So Christine says, when we can go places, would you ever consider doing a convention? Oh yeah, a conference, yeah. So this was, we had a plan. Greg and I had a plan. So before all this happened, my idea, so before we had the community, because I've been thinking about this for a really long time and trying to figure it out. And one of the vision was we would get a bus, like one of those, let's see. Oh, good. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. So we would get like an RV bus, and I have a pile of brochures like this, like it's all backwards on here, like this high. And we went, because we were driving to Emily to our flights included in daycare ice cream party. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I could do that. So what we decided to do is that we would get a bus versus an RV so I could work. And I had that hotspot, and I thought, all right, so we're going to bolt 2 monitors to something, and I'm going to work and he's going to drive. And we're going to go all over the country, and I was going to do my talk is being a VA for you, because whenever I do that, so many people, the libraries are always like, what is this all about? When I talk about 7 biggest mistakes small business owners make, and I go to the local library, like some people will come, but when it's being a virtual assistant for you, like 50 or 60 people will come, and they follow me out to the parking lot. It's really fun. So I thought, we'll do that. And I'll be a rocket girl during the day, and I'll do this at night, and we'll spread the word, and we'll figure it out. So that was our idea. But, and then what I thought was, what we'll do is we'll travel, and we'll tell everybody in the group, and we'll just meet. We'll have like not a meetup like how they do, the meetup, the brand, but we'll have a thing, like an ice cream party where we'll go to wherever we're going. We'll park the RV/bus and and all the people that are there. And in fact, Gina was saying to me recently, Gina Havranek, she lives just up the street. She's like, have a Connecticut meeting. And I think we might in my backyard. There's a bunch of people from Connecticut, like Kirsten, Marie, Gina, Rosa, Magda. Like there's a bunch of people, and we could BYO whatever, and have a fire down by the lake, and that could be really fun. So I would love to do something like that. It's definitely in the future, but we have to wait till the whole world settles down to figure out what it is. But yeah, for sure. When I went to the IVA conference in May 2019, a lot of the people I spoke there, and so many people that I met there are in the VIP, in VIP and in the VA connection, like Melinda McMahon and Eileen Astor and Linda Carmona. And if I looked at the list, there's just like so many people that were there. So it's really a lot of fun. And I went to a small mastermind in Cleveland in 2020 in January, and I just became really good online friends with all those people. It's fun. Sandy says you drive from Boston. Yeah. If I did it in Connecticut, I might not tell all 13,000 people, but I would definitely tell the people in VIP, and we could like try it out and see what happens. See what happens for sure. Yeah, that would be great. Okay, so let's talk about that. That would be really good. So this is what my coach does. My coach gets an Airbnb in a really cool place like Arizona, and she gets it like on the water, so the beach is in the backyard, and they do a 2-day training. They have massages and whatever, and it's limited to, I'm not sure how many people. And they have it like the windows open, and it's beautiful. It's very luxurious. It's a very luxurious, thing where there's a chef and they cook all the food, and it's kind of expensive. So that's the only thing, you guys, it would be expensive to pull that off. So it would not be a free event. I don't know how much hers is, but it's, like thousands of dollars. So we have all different kinds of budgets. So we would definitely keep that in mind, because I'd want you to feel like you could go and, not have to sell your house or something. But yeah, an Airbnb, that would be great. And one of my first clients, she has an Airbnb like in Vermont, which might be really off the beaten path, but they're everywhere. One of my friends has one in Boston. That might be doable, because it's on a street. Well, it's near the airport. The Boston airport is like 20 minutes away. And it's where I used to live it's called Jamaica Plain. And you can walk to a million restaurants. You can walk to Whole Foods, so you get food. And I don't know how many it sleeps, but there's some ideas. Let's just get the world all settled down and figure out what we're doing. And then, we'll do it. We'll do something. Okay. So Christine says, I finally got on Voxer. Do I add Voxer. Okay, so how that works, sorry, just got a text. How that works is you click, so I'm on my phone, and this is Voxer, and you click, so I don't actually know, hold on. People usually Vox me first, so I'm going to add you, Christine, to the ambassadors, and then you'll be in a group of the 11 of us that can chat. But I think there's some way where, if somebody knows, jump in, because I'm not a Voxer expert. Oh, you click on contacts. So you click on the 3 little lines at the top, and then all of your contacts will be there. And then you can see who's on Voxer, I believe, and you can just start voxing with them, or you can invite them, I think. But I'll add you when we're done. I'll add you to Voxer. So thank you. So yes, I think being together would be super duper friggin' yes, fun, as Kate says. I'd have to use my allowance. I know, me too. I know. For my hen, we do something similar, a big mansion in the country with a hot tub spa, outdoor activities, party at night with karaoke and a chef. It was fab. Yes. Yes, no karaoke. I'm not a singer. Not a singer, but I'll cheer you guys on. So a bachelorette party is a party where someone's getting married. So like it's usually, it could be a lot of young people these days, they have this big thing where, they go away for a week or a weekend and everybody's, being crazy and out partying. So it's sort of like a bachelorette party is like a bachelor party. It's like the last big fling, with your friends, because supposedly you get married and then you don't have fun anymore, which is not true necessarily. But that's what that is. And Christine says, okie dokie. And okay, anyone in your contacts who is Voxer. Okay, anyone in your contacts who is on Voxer will pop in your Voxer app. Yes. Oh, yes. And that's how Clubhouse works too. In order to invite someone to Clubhouse, you have to put them in as a contact with their cell phone number. And then you go into Clubhouse and you search for them and it sends them a text message. Oh, so I see. Kate. Okay, I get it. So a hen party is a bachelorette party. So for my hen. Okay, I get what you're saying now for your hen. Oh, that's fun. Okay. Got it. Yes, we call them bachelorette parties. I've never had one. And I'm never going to have one. I'm all set. But when you're young and you get married, you do that for sure. So what else is on your guys' mind? This is fun. I'm glad we're doing this. I was in a little bit of a quiet mood earlier, but between you and the bird, I'm up and at 'em. If you're going to have, if you're in VIP, which I think almost everybody on here is, don't forget, Jonathan Howard is going to be speaking at, I think it's 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock today. He's our guest expert, and he's going to talk about social media. For those of you who don't know him, we met him on Clubhouse. He has come into our room several times. He seems to be, here he is, an expert on social media. He knows a lot of like little intricate things that I've never heard of. And so come watch, come be a part of that. That'll be on Zoom. If you're in VIP, you'll get, if you haven't already, an email with the link. It's the usual VIP email. So yeah, we saw that, but it just caught like chicken hen. That's really actually very cool. Because you know how much I love my little ladies. VA retreat equals Belinda's bachelorette. Oh, so can I tell, since you guys don't have any questions, I'll tell you something funny, but put your questions in, or what you want to talk about. So I don't know how, but I volunteered, I'm sure, to help with our 40th high school reunion, and which is really ironic because I moved here my sophomore year in high school, and I had friends, but I wasn't, there goes the bird again. I wasn't, one of the popular kids. I was very, I just wasn't, that wasn't me. So, sorry, the bird is doing this thing with his tail. So I didn't know the people who were, I just didn't know the kids that were popular. And those are the kids that typically come back to reunions because they grew up together. Like there are people that Greg has known since he was like 5. We're in town and he'll say hi to someone. And I say, who's that? He's like, oh, I rode the bus with him. I'm like, okay. I moved so many times. I just didn't have that experience. So because I'm with Greg and he grew up here, I became like the prom queen or something at the 35th reunion, which was really fun. But everybody that I met, I went to high school with, I never knew. So yesterday we're all turning 60, and we had a birthday party when we turned 50, which is actually when I started seeing Greg. So we decided to start. We decided to have one when we turn 60, which is this year. And so we were all chatting yesterday, and they decided that I should get married and have the reception be the reunion. I'm like, I don't think so, people. But anyway, that was their big idea yesterday. So yes, Jonathan is the token VA. Absolutely. That's awesome. I remember the first room he joined. Yes, absolutely. This is the hen party. I do believe it is. And also, speaking of hen parties, we're having another one. When is that, guys? Friday at 3. We're having our our VIP party where we have fun. Michelle says yes. And Joe says, I don't think I can make it, but I'd like to ask his best cross-platform repurposing tips. I have my own methods for repurposing content across socials, but I would love to know his take on that. Okay. All right. Hold on. I can take a picture of that because then I will remember and I'll read him your question. Hold on. All right. So I'll get that on the recording for you. Okay. Awesome. Great. I love Rudy. Don't be distracted by him. It's your white noise that makes you you. Yeah, I know. He is a little crazy. He does this thing. I do think he has some sort of food problem because he likes certain food, and Greg has taught him to say, good birdie, I'm a good birdie, or come here, birdie. So he has this whole thing that when I'm cooking food that he likes, which are eggs, he loves eggs, bagels, he likes potato chips, he likes almonds, carrots, green beans, and he gets it all over his face. It's really funny. And what happens is when I have certain food out, he starts making the sound like he's screaming like over and over and over, and then he just goes crazy and he tries to bite you because he's like overwhelmed with the food. I have no idea what this disorder is, but that's what he does. And so right now he's eating seeds and he's quite happy, but he's kind of a nut. And the other thing he does is he likes to kiss. So Greg has taught him to say, Greg will say, give me a kiss. And the birdie goes, mwah! So that's a big thing too that happens in our house on a regular basis. So the birdie kisses. Never a dull moment. All right, you guys, what else you got on your mind? And we don't have to stay on for the whole time if all your questions have been answered, but all right, Joe's going to head off. Nap time for her little one. Great chatting. Yes. Thanks for jumping on. I just learned this thing about StreamYard where you can change the background color. I know I did a training on that on StreamYard, but I didn't know that at the time. I'll show you what I mean. So see here, I could change the background in the back, which is kind of cool. And I got Mark, my graphics person, to update all of our headers, which I was kind of excited about too. I'll show you what they are. I didn't understand how they worked, and I broke the code. And once I did that this week, then he was able to make different ones. So this is, that's coming up, the VA Client Kickstart Challenge. And he made one for Rocket Girl Solutions, and he made one that I'm using now. He made one for the Rocket Girl show, and then he made a special one for VIP. We kind of started having a lot of fun with this. But StreamYard can be cool. And now that I can see how you can customize these, because I wasn't really thrilled with this is what we had before, and it just said the VA connection. I didn't know how to change it. But all this is a transparent PNG file. So, I show through, and then this is the part that's on the PNG file. So once I figured out how that worked, we upgraded ourselves this week, which is very exciting. All right, let's see. All right, Joe's go. All right, Michelle says, does anyone have a good business bank they would recommend with low, no fees? I don't know. So I use the same bank that I use for my personal accounts, and it's tied with Greg's because we have a joint account. So the reason it's free is because with all of those accounts together, like my personal, his personal, Emily, even like Emily's accounts, Emily's savings account, my savings account, it all equals whatever the number is that you have to keep in the bank for it to be zero. Christine says she uses her local bank and it's phenomenal. I use my local bank for the Entrepreneurial Women's Club because Lisa and I, when we, LLC'd and everything, she didn't want to pay fees, and she was at this particular bank, and that was fine. But they have, it's really low tech. Like you have to talk to someone to change your password, and there wasn't a feed. I had to download the bank statements when I needed to upload them. So it was some extra steps, which was, we worked it out. and we're still with them. But I use Wells Fargo, and which I know had some big problem a few years ago, but it's worked out. And Sandy says she uses her local credit union, which she also uses for her personal account, and it's free, no fees. Oh, it's a military bank. Oh, yeah. It doesn't offer business banking. Yeah, so I have heard people using a local credit union. There's also online banks that you can use. I don't know any of them, but there used to be one that I had an account with. I don't remember the name, but it was orange. The logo was orange. And I have asked this question. I've asked this question before somewhere else besides the VA connection, and there are online banks. You could Ning. I think it was called Ning, and I think they don't have fees. I'm just going to Google it. There's a bunch. There's a bunch, and I think Capital One has that as well. I think I used to have a bank. It looks like she says Oslo is online, but it closed. Yeah, that's the one that came. One of the ones that came up. Barclays, Discover, Wells Fargo, Opportunity Checking, 0 deposits required. So yeah, I would check it or ask in VIP, because I bet some people will know in VIP. And then you guys said you like the new banners. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, they're so pretty, aren't they? Mark just has a design style that I really like. It's like he has a way of putting shapes together. And I was teasing him. We were working on something for the upcoming challenge, some graphics for you guys to use in Canva. And he looked at them and he said, I think they're pretty good. And I said, you always just tell me, like, make it this color and make that 20% smaller. And it just makes such a huge difference. So I just like to, when I can, just even, it's such a huge difference between this. It does the same thing, and this, there's just an elegance. He adds the dots, which are part of the logo, and, the fonts make a huge difference. And just the little yellow color, I was putting yellow with the blue, and I was getting all tangled up, and I just couldn't do it. And I was getting frustrated. So I said, what am I doing? Mark will do this. He'll love it. So we did. We did. Okay, let's see. It's very personal, and it's nice when you find someone you like to work with creatively. It really is. And I said to him yesterday, he's a little slow right now, which, I don't want that to happen. So I'm probably going to send out I wrote a newsletter a few years ago about my dream team, and I'm probably going to send that out again, repurpose it, update it a little bit to remind all my readers about him for Rocket Girl. But it is. And I was sort of fantasizing about how could I, have a graphical need and that I could work with him all the time. Because when you guys see, I can't wait for you to see the challenge that's coming up and the new course, because we worked together for hours in the last month and a half. His hands are on everything, and it's just so pretty. It's all so pretty. Well, you can see, like, this is for the challenge. These cool colors, and this is like, look at that. That's part of the logo. He's so creative. There's a graphic that's going to be part of the new course. That's a chicken, and the beak is this part of the logo. It's just the coolest thing ever. Just these super cool subtleties, that he comes up with. And these dots right here, these are the dots from the Rocket Girl logo. There's the rocket, and then the dots are coming out, which is like this what is it? The smoke. So he's really been good at blending these two brands together in a way that I really like. All right, guys. So I am going to say goodbye for now, unless you have other questions. I know there's a little bit of a drag, but thanks for coming. I hope to see you in about an hour with Jonathan with all your questions. I'm going to put a Post-it on my forehead or somewhere, so I remember to ask Joe's question. And if I don't, one of you guys, if you're there, remind me, and we'll have some fun. So thanks for coming. This was really fun. You're welcome, Sandy. And I'll see you guys at our next big event. Okay, bye. Later, Gator. That's right. We'll have the replay to you guys in a short amount of time. And if you have any questions, shoot them to me and I'll make sure I ask them. All right. Bye, you guys. Thanks.